we're going to have to shift any shame you have around doubling or tripling your rates, and also calling in higher quality clients. So in this video, I'm about to give you a sneak peek at one of the hot seats inside of one of my Money in the Message Inner Circle calls with one of my clients and members of the program, Gwen. And I'm excited because this is going to give you a peek at exactly how we do the customized sales content coaching and the messaging coaching that allows you to create strategic content adjustments into your sales content so that you can get it connecting, captivating, and converting more powerfully, more purposefully, and more profitably for you now, not later. Let's go ahead and dive into now, how do I strategically elevate my content so that I actually get to monetize it more powerfully, more purposefully, and more profitably? Run the video.
That resulted in a 6-figure contract for us for administrative support. And so I'm super excited about that.
Oh my goodness. How does that feel for you?
It's surreal.
Really?
It is very surreal because it wasn't an area or market that I originally thought to kind of exploit or go into. And now that I see that it's a very possible and real thing, I've completely revamped like our language and messaging to speak to those people. And so I am going to go after that market very heavily.
Perfect. So one, I just want to say congrats. I love this for you. There is not a doubt, right, for you on this. I'm super excited for you, your team, and your company. Yay to Gwen's 6-figure win. I know you celebrating her. We are celebrating her too. Now, I want to celebrate you. So I want to make a process for you. So here is what you are about to see. You're about to see me do a hot seat coaching session with Gwen inside of our Money in the Message group call. So when you come in, you get hot seat individual specific to you coaching, okay? And I'm going to break this down into a couple steps for you. So step one, you are going to brain dump and or share and submit your initial messaging, right? So you're either brain dumping it on the call like you're about to see Gwen do, or we also have our content and messaging clinics where you actually can submit pieces of content that you've created. All right, either way, you're going to share that with me. And first, you're going to actually see Gwen share what she would normally say before joining the program. Then you're going to see her share messaging after we improved elements of her, content, her messaging, her ideal client clarity, the positioning work that actually led to her getting that 6-figure in sales, right? Here's the thing. We are going to do initial tweaks on your messaging when you first come in, because you're going to have your initial messaging just like Gwen too. We're going to make some tweaks, and that's going to be like layer 2 of the tweaks, which is where Gwen is right now. And then what we want to do is actually keep advancing and finding areas for us to keep elevating the messaging, because then we get to go into more refinement layers. Okay. It's like an onion, right? An onion is layered. Your messaging is layered. So think about it like this. You have your initial messaging. When you come into the program, we're going to make some tweaks. You're going to put that out. You're going to make some money from it. Okay. And then you're going to come bring it back. We're going to say, oh, okay, now let's tweak this. Let's add this. Right. And so now we're going to make those tweaks. You're going to put it back out, make some more money, and we're going to keep doing it. And that is the power of you continuing to elevate your positioning for bigger sales, clients, and profit by continuing to refine your messaging, making it better and better, going deeper and deeper. So step one is you are going to bring your initial messaging so that we can start making those messaging boosts and tweaks now, not later. Okay. So when you and I are coaching, I am going to be supporting you through those things. Okay. Then what you're going to see us do is, while Gwen is talking about her message before and then her, next level elevated messaging, you see me writing notes. I am literally conducting in my brain, okay, don't ask me how my brain works, but I am conducting a messaging quality evaluation for you. So I'm listening, or if it's a clinic, I'm reading or listening to what you've submitted, right? I'm listening or reading what you have given me, and I'm evaluating the quality of it so that I can understand where exactly we need to make tweaks, okay? So step one is you are going to be brain dumping or submitting, sharing the initial messaging, and I'm reviewing it from a quality standpoint to understand and evaluate and assess the quality of the messaging that you're going to give. So that's step one and step two. What I love is when we have an elevated client, it instantly invites us to think about, wait a minute, where have I not been talking to this person? So
Yes.
I even want you, give me, and I know this is like off the cuff, give me an example of something that you would have normally said before this client. and we're just going to do a little quick, like, playing around with it, but like a line you would have dropped in content or something you would have said in your language.
So I would speak to like, do you need support in your back end? Are you struggling with keeping up with your schedule? Do you need some help or support with like any administrative tasks, right? But not really digging into what that actually looks like, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And so now, how would you say those things that you just said?
Yes. So now I'm speaking more to like saying this is designed for visionary CEOs who are leading like 7-figure businesses, and you're looking for someone who can manage your executive calendar and be a presence for you in meetings, who can handle your email and your correspondence with the high priority discretion. And so the language is completely different in speaking to this particular person.
So I can even see the elevation that you just did on the messaging you just said. I'm going to just add to it. And I know it was off the cuff, so we both make it, not making this up, but you know what we mean. So before, do you need support on your back end? Actually, let me step back for you and for anybody on the replay. I've been talking about, $2 problems versus $20,000 problems. Or for you, Gwen, we may want to add, what is the $2 million problem? So that literally could be a little chart, right? For you of the $2
like
problem is, oh, do you need support on your back end? The $20,000 problem is when you go into $20,000, $2 million, it's, I assume you need this. I'm not asking you, do you need this? Hey, I know that you need support with your back end. So that's already jumping. You see the difference in that of asking them versus telling them. And then if we want to go to $2 million, listen, I know you need support with your back. No, actually, sorry, excuse me. Let me get into my embodiment of your $2 million client. So $2 million isn't, so we went from $2, do you need support? We went to $20,000. I know that you need support with your back end, and here's what that looks like for you that you need. The $1 million offer is this woman or client, who is a 7-figure, they already have a back end.
Right.
So the difference of what Gwen is talking about and her team is talking about is, hey, I know you have this back end of this 7-figure business that you have built, and you have some things that are working, but you also in this season of your growth see some opportunity areas where things are falling through the cracks. And then you would give examples of here's what's falling through the cracks. Here's also how that's affecting the elevated client experience that you're wanting your people to have. Here's how that's affecting your bottom line. Here's how that is affecting the productivity of your team. Here's how that's affecting you and your energy, because you are doing, you could talk about what are they doing now, right? That $20,000 client versus the $2 million client. Are they going on? Are they speaking? Right? I don't need to be worried about anything in the back end of my business when I'm getting paid $30,000 to be on somebody's stage, and I need to be talking, and that's about to bring in 7 figures of business, and y'all asking me some questions about some back end stuff that's not handled. So I have some others that I want to go through so I don't forget. But first, I want to pause and see if you're following me, what you're thinking about what we just said so far.
No, yeah, I totally follow. This is why I love talking to you. It could be a month, and then I know as soon as I talk to Kierra, she's gonna add something to it that I can take and run with.
Yep.
So absolutely, it's resonating, and it has me thinking as well about some other things that I can use in terms of speaking to this particular type of corporate client that I want to go after, right? Because now that you've kind of outline what does that look like, right? Looking at the difference between the client before and the client now that we want to focus on is yes.
Okay, so let's go into step 3 and step 4. Do you see how Gwen just expanded in how she was thinking about her client? So here's what I want you to take note of. First and foremost, we did step 1, which is where you are sharing with me the initial messaging, okay? And then step 2 is us, being able to evaluate the quality of it. I'm paying attention to that while I'm listening to you or while I'm reading what you've put down, okay? Now we get to step into step 3. Step 3 is where we create an overview of improvements that you can make to truly elevate the messaging. This is where I break down improvements with detailed feedback and specific adjustments that you can make to elevate the quality and the performance of your messaging and your content to lead to better sales, bigger clients, higher paying, gigs, better speaking gigs, doubling your rates, tripling your rates, all those good things, right? So I want to point out, if you pay attention to the initial messaging that Gwen had and then her like improved messaging, we'll call that improvement number one, right? Which is what supported her and having this mindset around this higher level client. Now we're literally going into like improvement level two, right? So a 2.0 improvements. And so now we want to see, how do we continue to talk to that higher level client and do it even more powerfully, more consistently for even bigger sales, right? And so I want you to notice some differences. In the initial messaging, what tends to happen for a lot of clients, so in this particular case, the initial messaging was really better suited for a lower level administrative support rather than really talking to the exclusive, executive level type of support. There was a lot of emphasis on the features and not the benefits. There's a lot of emphasis that was on the task and not the transformational value that's actually offered, right? There's no real premium positioning that's happening. Instead, it's really generic, and it could kind of apply to a wide variety of clients, right? And so it's not actually speaking to the person who you want. It's speaking to more of an entry level person. And when y'all do that, you don't realize that what you're actually doing, instead of speaking to that visionary, that high level person, you are going to be appealing clients who are seeking low cost, task based, type of support instead of true transformation, premium support, higher level support to match the high value expertise and skills and knowledge and years of experience that you have and the value that you bring to the table. So those are some things I want you to pay attention to. And so that's what I'm looking at when I am doing that messaging quality evaluation. That's all the things that are going through my brain. I'm looking at the clarity, right? How clear is the message? I'm looking at how specific you are. Is the messaging truly detailed enough to really speak to a unique client, their premium problems, like what they really value? How much is it connecting to the premium clients? Is it strong? Is it resonating with them? Is it not? Is it repelling them? I'm looking at the positioning of your elevated value. Are you positioning and conveying your value and what it is that you bring to the table in a powerful way? Are you lowballing yourself, right? Are you just kind of making it seem really simple and easy? And they're like, oh, okay, so I only have to pay you this much. They don't understand. Why do I have to pay you anything with commas and extra zeros, right? What is the likelihood of it actually converting, right? What's the performance and, what's the likelihood of it converting premium clients? What's the probability that that messaging is going to convert those high value clients that you like? So most times what I see missing inside of your messaging is that it lacks depth, it lacks focus on the outcomes and the benefits, because it's so focused on the features. It doesn't truly highlight your unique expertise and communicate the high value of it. It's generic in its focus. It lacks audience targeting. So it's not really specific on who it truly, speaks to. It's missing opportunities to basically connect with your ideal clients who really, really, really want to pay you. And this is always what I'm talking about. We need to be pre-qualifying, pre-positioning, and pre-selling in your messaging. That's how you turn your sales messaging into a sales tool that pre-sells for you and brings qualified people into your sales content, your sales events, your sales calls, your sales DMs and chats and all the things. Okay. So that's what's happening when I am doing this quality evaluation. That's what I'm looking at. And so you see me fire out for step 3, giving you those improvements, right? Firing out, hey, here's where you're talking to your $2 problem versus your $2,000, problem versus the $20,000 problem versus the $2 million problem, right? And don't get confused with that. Don't worry. When you come into Money in the Message, we will outline these things for you so that you're really clear on the problems that you're communicating and you're talking to and positioning your value. Now, we step into step number 4. So step number 4, what you are seeing right now on the screen is me, infusing the elevated messaging into high impact content. Okay. So once you have the elevated messaging and once that's established, the next step is us actually taking that to craft compelling content that's tailored to your specific audience. So that's what you see me doing. I want to be respectful and not be giving all of the gems, but literally we came up with at least 10. Typically we do about 10 to 15 different pieces of customized content literally in minutes. Like y'all, I think, what was that, a 5-minute clip? I'm not even sure. So the point is, you even hear Gwen saying, oh my God, this is why I come back every couple weeks, every couple months. Like, you give me stuff, I go do it and come back. So seriously, our clients are using the messaging, right? Over a couple of weeks, over a couple of months, they're using their messaging, their main marketing messaging that's tried and true. It's more refined, it's more elevated with all the elements I'm talking about to make money over and over again. And we just continue to build on that over and over again. And I continue to help you to make sure that you're creating content that leads back to that. So this is the type of customized sales messaging and content support that you get when you work with me. All right. This is what you've been needing, right? You've purchased templates and courses and you look at this free YouTube video, but you need somebody specifically listening. Like, you see how I can listen and hear, oh, Gwen, nope, we need to change that line. That line is not talking to your client at a high level. That line got you talking to the $2, problem. It doesn't have them seeing why they should pay you $20,000, let alone $100,000. Okay. So you've purchased these things. You need true, real support. You need more than a piece of paper with a generic formula where you hope it works and you can kind of figure out where to plug in things on your own, or trying to use AI and trying to train it to talk like you with your voice and your messaging, your ideal clients. But the problem with that is that you're inserting the same messaging, the mediocre messaging that's not performing at the level that you want. So why would you risk that, right? We want to eliminate that risk. Okay. So it would work better for you if you inserted optimized, tried and true, next level messaging, so that you had your main marketing, sales, brand messaging, right, to use, right? So now you can join us inside of the inner circle and the money in the message to join us. And here's the thing. If you're like, Kierra, I just want to experience working with you, before I come all the way into money in the message, that's cool too. So you either just join us inside of money in the message. The link is below. If you're like, you know what, I want to get a feel for working with you, then go ahead and grab a strategy session so that you and I can get this work started today. We can start diving into we'll look at your content, right? Like I just did with Gwen. We'll also assess your offers and the pricing, right? The packaging of your offers. We'll look at your audience, and we're going to start building out your next level positioning and profit plan. Okay. So I can't wait to see you inside your session and support you. And if you're on the fence, listen to what Gwen had to say of why you need to get into this session and join us inside the inner circle. Is there anything that you would say to anybody who's on the fence with doing messaging work with moi before we go?
Don't hesitate, jump, get off the fence and just leap. Like, what you waiting for? My last question to Kierra was, okay, so what's next?
What's next here?
What you're not doing is leaving me right here. Like, what's next? So get off the fence and jump.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm so grateful. And yes, hey, before you keep going with this YouTube video, I know that you're like, oh my gosh, I am getting so much value from this video, whether you found me 5 minutes ago, 5 months ago, 5 years ago, it doesn't matter. And I know that you're ready to implement this and bring this over into your actual sales, marketing, and brand messaging. So I want you to give me literally 30 minutes to help you elevate the positioning communication strategies that you are using in your sales messaging so you can command more of the clients, community members, and cash your work deserves. You have high value expertise and experience that you bring to the table. You are a powerhouse. You are here to create more impact with your gifts and your genius. Okay. Your messaging should not have you out here looking like an amateur. Okay. So in this strategy session, I am going to help you step into a space where you're able to better dominate your niche and your industry with elevated messaging that commands higher rates for your services, your programs, your events, your digital products, and your speaking. Specifically in this session, we are going to identify the biggest element in your messaging that is costing you clients, that has your clients that you really want to be attracting overlooking you and has you leaving money on the table. We're going to dive into the number one tweak that you can make in your sales strategy, okay, your sales messaging, your visibility strategies to position your offer and your expertise more powerfully now, not later. And we're going to outline the exact adjustments that you can make in your content. You're actually going to bring a piece of content so that we can actually start to dive in and start to tweak things while we are on the line on the Zoom. You're going to get all of these things in a notes document that's specific to you in a private client folder. And you're going to be like, here, I don't even understand how we got through all of that in 30 minutes. Okay. So go ahead somewhere around this video, grab the link to your session. If you value personalized messaging, sales, visibility, content feedback, if you want actionable, real advice, if you want not to be tricked into a sales conversation just to ask you a bunch of questions and you leave with no value, but if you actually want to have real consulting happening so that you can elevate your sales messaging, your positioning, communication strategies, how you're positioning your offer, if there's any mindset stuff coming out with that, we're going to go through content, we're going to go through who your client is and start to really work on these things so that you can start implementing them into your next level message now, not later. So go ahead and grab your one-on-one session with me so that we can captivate premium, pre-qualified, and pre-sold clients who are ready to invest while also pre-positioning you, your expertise, and the impact that you're here to make with your work so that you can convert higher and quicker. I can't wait to see you inside your session. Bye, love.